What does the leader need to bring so that the team and the people can flourish? There are so many roles that others will play. People that fund and finance the ministry, team or staff that are leaders and managing the ministry, your boss or the oversight that are bringing vision to the ministry. But there's something that I believe you can bring that no one else can bring, a role that you play that is different from everybody else. I want to share it with you. My name is Matt. I'm a pastor in church ministry, and I've started this YouTube channel for pastors, ministry leaders on church staffs, or in a community ministry. Whether you're on staff or you're a volunteer leading a team or a Bible study, I want to encourage you and develop your pastoral leadership from 30 years of personal experience. And one subject I want to talk about today is the role that the leader needs to step in that everybody else needs from them. Now, you know leadership is a buzzword. I mean, there are so many hats we wear as leaders, so many character traits that are beautiful. But I wanted to share with you one role that I've realized I had to play as the leader of the team, leader of a church or a ministry, that the team needed, the people needed, the customer needed, even my oversight needed from me, that would help the team move forward and flourish. And here it is. The leader is the tone setter. I learned that I have to set the tone so that everybody else can have the right mindset, the right attitude, the right visual, so that they can move forward together. As the leader, I had to be very aware of my gaps, of the areas that I'm not good in, which is why I want to get the best leaders, team members, specialists, mature capacity people around me. I have complementing gifts to see what I don't see and do what I don't do. But what I had to bring as the leader is I had to set the tone to say, I'm going to start. I'm going to set the initiative. I had to see it before they saw it. I had to see what could be, not just what is. And most leaders, if I could be honest, are really wearing the hat of manager. They're not really leading, they're more managing what is. Now, management is not a dirty word. We all need to be very good managers. In fact, most of what I do is not leading at my church. I play the role of managing a vision and an initiative and a plan, and I implement it and I manage it. And think about management. If you don't manage what you build, then you're gonna lose what you built. If you don't sustain what you start, then what's the point? You're going to lose everything. I always tell this to pastors, if God answered your church's prayer to send you 100 more people and 100 new people came to your church, would you know what to do with them? Who's going to disciple them? Who's going to follow up? Who's going to help them take their steps? Who's going to build a relationship with them and get to know them on their level? See, we're not always ready for what we pray for. So management is a good thing, and all of us should play management. But here's the key about leadership. Leadership is not managing what is, it's building what could be. It's seeing more before, as John Maxwell says. I want to steal that from him. And while I have to manage and I have to not always start new and next, there is a season of saying, I want to see more. I see what could be. We can do more. We could be better. We could reach higher, farther. And I not only share the vision, here's the key. I start the vision. I bring the initiative. And leaders like me can very much frustrate your other leaders and your other managers. Why? Because the managers, if they're good, they already have a full plate of activities. Matt, we don't need a new and next. We've got the here and now, and we're managing it well and we're taking care of it. So they're going to be frustrated with you saying, I could see more and we need to start. But I have to, at times, at the right season, the right time, say, it's time for us to start, and I'll go first. I'll take the risk. I'll start creating meetings and whiteboarding and taking initiatives and starting something new, which it'll frustrate your team rightfully so. But understand, if the leader doesn't create more and see possibility and potential and take action on it and get more people involved, then there's nothing more for the managers to do. That what you're actually doing is you're giving the managers a gift of opportunity. The problem you're creating for them is creating an opportunity for them to use their managerial gifts. For instance, I've been talking to the team I'm working on now about we need to bring a few more unpaid staff or volunteers, high capacity, into our team so that we can do more and that we aren't the doers. We're able to get above it and see above so we can go to farther campuses and create more things and think strategies and evaluate all the things we say we don't have time for. We need to create margin for. So let's disrupt. I'm creating organizational disruption. Let's disrupt how we do things and whiteboard it and deconstruct it so that we can figure out how do we manage through others and do this. Well, that's created all kinds of stress for all of us. But I said we have to start these conversations even though we're dead busy with everything that's coming now. And what happens is when you create problems for your team, they start saying, well, if we're going to have to bring 3 more people on the team, we're going to have to create job descriptions from it. Yeah, well, I can do that. Well, we're going to have to create a process of when we meet with them. Yeah, we'll have to have a staff meeting. We got to create a place where they can work and they have to have resources. Yeah, well, it means that I'm going to have to figure out how I train that so I can do this. Yeah. So they start using their gifts, which creates friction, organizational disruption. And before long, if you come alongside them and do it with them, not just dump on them, 6 months, 9 months from now, we're going to have a greater reality. And it was because you set the tone. We could do this. This is worth it. Let's take the risk. Let's start. I'll come with you. And you set that initiative, and they're farther than they'd ever be because you did that. That's number 1. Okay. Number 2 is set the narrative. Number 1, set the tone for the team. Number 2, set the narrative for the team. Okay, I want to explain what I mean by set the narrative. Many times, I've talked to a lot of pastors who are at a small church or a small campus, or it's way out in the middle of nowhere and they don't have all the staff and all the bells and whistles, and you're looking at the big mega church with all the staff and all the stage is beautiful and the social media, and hundreds are coming to Christ and 700 people are serving on the team, and you've got 10 or 12 volunteers if you're lucky, right? Or you're a ministry that's new and it's challenging and it's set in its ways and you're like, man, it's just small. I'm not seeing a lot of progress. And while a leader has to define reality, a leader has to set the narrative for the team. That what you're doing is, while you're aware of its weakness and its smallness and it's embryonic and it's new and there's a lot of work to be done, what you do is you find the win and you point to it and you celebrate it. And what you do is you're saying, I'm gonna control the narrative that this is working. We're seeing progress here. We're seeing God work here. Maybe it's just a seed. Maybe we're cultivating it. But one came to church from the community. One got water baptized. One family dropped their kids off for the first time. It may not be cataclysmic, like this campus had 100 people, but it is celebrating the one. I was talking with a campus pastor, a good friend of mine, who leads a smaller campus in a real out area away from everything with not a lot of resources, not a lot of fanfare. And he's always kind of comparing himself to the big church that gets all the, all the attention, all the resource, all the celebration. And our senior pastor was walking by and says, well, I don't want to go talk to him because, we don't have much to celebrate and it's just not growing and we don't have very many volunteers. I said, no. You just told me about someone that you've been investing in that came to church a few weeks, got water baptized, went to the membership class, and her husband's coming. It was a story he told me. That's powerful. I told him this. I said, we're not measuring how big your ministry is. We're measuring what did you do with the ministry that was given to you. That's the true measurement of effectiveness. And you have been faithful with the small remote that you were given. and you're building on it. That's the narrative. Go talk to the senior pastor and humbly tell him, I just want to tell you a good story. That's a power. He will love it. I don't want to talk. I said, go talk to him. In fact, I took him up and introduced him to the pastor. And pastor, hear this story. The pastor was thrilled when my friend told this story. He said, we need to invest more in your campus. So after the pastor left, my friend and I was like, Pastor Matt, thank you. I've been wanting to get more resources. He's just offering to give us more resources. I said, he's not just measuring how huge and big it'll get. He's measuring, is there signs of growth, signs of investment, signs that God's working. And he understands, like all of us do, it's all about the one, because you celebrate the one win, the one potential, it leads to bigger wins and more wins. Can I tell you that campus is growing? They're having to put chairs in the back of the room every day. They're growing in their investments. They're growing in outreach, and volunteers are flourishing, the staff, because this leader has been faithful with the small and set the narrative that I know we're working on this. I know this is problematic. I know this is weak. I know this isn't up to par. We're working on this. What do they do in a mall? They put a curtain over a store and say, pardon our progress. So you put a curtain over pardon our progress and you point to, look at what's working. Because your team will be inspired to say, it's worth it. It's working. It's slow. It's going to take patience. Let's keep at it. We're seeing moments of God and moments of miracles and people saying yes, and that's going to lead to bigger things down the road. Set the tone and set the narrative for your team. And that's what your team needs to fill in the gaps, to manage what you build for them. And they need to see that the little wins are worth it and they're working. And that will help the team flourish and keep moving forward to have great effectiveness in the kingdom of God. Hey leader, I hope this helps you. Hey, subscribe to my channel. I'm getting more subscriptions and I'm hoping to hit 100. I'm at 91 as we talk right now. So give me 9 more subscriptions, would you, by September? And I'm excited about this YouTube channel and I hope it's being a blessing to you.